Deadly medieval meals. It's the year 1350. 7 courses in front of you. The food looks fine, smells fine. But here's the thing about eating in the Middle Ages. The bread might make you hallucinate and lose your fingers. The water could give you extreme dysentery. The meat's been sitting in a pot for days, stewing and turning rancid. And if you're rich enough to eat off fancy plates, the plates themselves were slowly poisoning you with lead. Today we have 7 medieval courses, each one more dangerous than the last. Let's eat. First course, your drink. And in medieval England, your drink is not water. It's ale, weak, cloudy, barely alcoholic. You're drinking it because the water will kill you faster. Medieval water sources were contaminated with sewage, animal waste, and tannery runoff. No treatment, no filtration, no understanding of bacteria. So everyone, men, women, children, even babies, drank ale instead. The brewing process killed most harmful bacteria, but the ale wasn't exactly safe either. Before hops arrived in the 1400s, it had no preservatives, went bad in days, and if your local alewife brewed a bad batch, the punishment was public dunking in the river. Medieval Yelp reviews were brutal, so your first course is questionable ale from a woman terrified of river dunking. But at least the ale was trying to keep you alive. The bread on the table next to it, that one was trying to take you down. Bread, the foundation of the entire medieval diet. Everyone ate it, every day, every meal. Rich people got white wheat bread, everyone else got dark rye. And this rye had a problem. Rye is susceptible to a fungus called Claviceps purpurea, ergot. It infects the grain in the field and looks almost identical to healthy rye. Gets harvested, ground into flour, baked into bread, and eaten. And when you eat enough of it, it causes St. Anthony's fire. It constricts your blood vessels, cutting off circulation. Your fingers and toes turn black with gangrene. You get convulsions. You hallucinate, wildly, violently. Entire villages struck at once. People dancing uncontrollably, screaming, seeing things, collapsing. Over 50,000 people are believed to have died from ergot poisoning during the Middle Ages. Oh, and ergot contains lysergic acid, the precursor to LSD. This bread is medieval acid. Some historians think the Salem witch trials may have been triggered by ergot-contaminated rye. Your innocent loaf could make you see demons, lose your fingers, and get burned at the stake. So the bread might be poisoning your brain. But at least you can see the bread. You can break it open, check the color. The next course? You can't see what's in it. Nobody can. Not even the person who's been cooking it for the last 3 weeks. The perpetual stew, a cauldron that basically never gets emptied. A tavern kept a large pot simmering over the fire. Every day they'd add whatever they had. Root vegetables, meat scraps, bones, barley, herbs. Ladle out portions, top it back up. The pot never gets cleaned, never emptied. Some ran for weeks, months, maybe longer. The constant heat did kill a lot of bacteria, which is why it worked at all. But if the fire went out overnight, which happened regularly, the pot sat at room temperature for hours. Perfect bacterial breeding ground. Morning comes, fire relights, everything gets stirred together, contaminated and fresh, all mixed into one bowl. The stew was a gamble because you couldn't control what went into it. But the next course? People tried desperately to control it. They salted it, smoked it, pickled it, they even prayed over it, and it still went bad. Preserved meat, no refrigeration, none. Kill a pig in November. That pork needs to last until spring. So they packed it in salt until it became a rock, smoked it, pickled it in brine, or preserved it in rendered fat. And if none of that was available, hung it in a cool room and hoped for the best. Ugh. Medieval people had no understanding of bacteria, no concept of cross-contamination, no hand-washing standards. Butchers worked bare-handed on open tables. Meat hung in markets next to sewage-filled streets. And those heavy spices medieval cooks used? They weren't hiding rotten meat. That's actually a myth. Spices were expensive status symbols, but they were masking food that was past its best. Medieval health guides warned against eating anything raw. The meat could make you sick because preservation was an imperfect science, but the next course could kill you outright. And we know this because it killed a king. Fish. In medieval Europe, you ate it whether you wanted to or not. The Catholic Church banned meat on Fridays, during Lent, on Wednesdays and Saturdays in some periods, plus various holy days. Add it all up, you were eating fish for almost half the year. While most was preserved, salted cod, smoked herring, pickled eel, fresh fish was a luxury. And the most prestigious fish of all was the lamprey, a parasitic, jawless, eel-like creature that looks like something from a horror film. In 1135, King Henry I of England died after eating a feast of lampreys. His doctors warned him not to. He ate them anyway, dead within days. The official cause? A surfeit of lampreys. A king, killed by his dinner. That's peak medieval energy. So the food could poison you, the bread could poison you, the water could poison you, but here's where the Middle Ages really starts messing with your head. The thing that was poisoning the richest people in Europe wasn't even food. It was what they were eating off. Course 6 isn't food, it's the plate. Because the wealthier you were, the more likely you were to be slowly poisoned by your own dinnerware. Medieval potters glazed their plates with lead oxide. Beautiful, shiny, easy to clean. But put salty or acidic food on a lead-glazed plate, pickled vegetables, vinegar, citrus, and the acid dissolved the glaze. Lead leached directly into your food. Researchers from the University of Southern Denmark studied 207 medieval skeletons. The wealthy had significantly higher lead levels than the rural poor. Why? The wealthy could afford glazed pottery. The poor used plain, unglazed clay. The poor people's ugly plates were accidentally saving their lives. Lead poisoning causes headaches, cognitive decline, reduced intelligence in children, and eventually death. Mercury was also present in wealthy skeletons, used in medicines for everything from syphilis to leprosy. The medieval rich were poisoned by their plates and their doctors simultaneously.
What?
Everything so far has been accidental. Bad water, bad bread, bad meat, bad plates. Nobody was trying to hurt you. But the final course? That one's different. Because in the Middle Ages, the most lethal thing on the dinner table wasn't an accident. It was on purpose. Final course. And this is where the danger goes from accidental to deliberate. Because in the Middle Ages, poison wasn't just a risk, it was a weapon. And the dinner table was the battlefield. In 1470, Peter of Abano cataloged 70 different poisons commonly known in medieval Europe. Arsenic, developed into an odorless, transparent form by Arab chemists, was the favorite. Hemlock, wolfsbane, belladonna, and a mixture called the composition of death were all available from apothecary shops, open to the public. This is why royalty used food tasters, drank from narwhal tusk cups they believed were unicorn horn that neutralized poison, and set shark's teeth into goblets as detectors. None of it worked, but with 70 known poisons available from your local apothecary, the paranoia was justified. The after-dinner drink was the most lethal course on the table. But the sheer number of ways your food could hurt you, accidentally, invisibly, and sometimes deliberately, is staggering. We think of the Middle Ages as swords and sieges. The real daily threat was the table. Chew on that. I'm Nom Nom Dom. See you at the next meal.